Hi, my name is Lucy Banks. I grew up in Warrington and went to Birchwood High School, followed by Birchwood College Sixth Form. I work at Barclays in the technology sector, where I work as a problem manager, which basically means that I help fix major technical incidents and make sure that they don't happen again. I've been at Barclays for 5 years now and started on the technology apprenticeship straight after college, which was a 2 year apprenticeship. For my education element, I was given the choice of level 3 and level 4 college courses to study, or I was given the opportunity to complete a level 6 degree apprenticeship in digital and technology solutions, which was the first time this was ever offered. So I chose the degree apprenticeship, which took 4 years to complete and included a day's release to attend my lectures at Manchester Metropolitan University, and all the remaining work was completed at home or at work where appropriate. After first year, I was given the option to choose which course to focus my degree on. I had the choice between IT consultancy, which was more business oriented, and software engineering, which was more technical oriented. I chose the software engineering pathway because it sounded very interesting and it included subjects like computing, networks, security, and mobile app development. Last year, I finally completed my degree and graduated with a first class honours, which I am incredibly proud of, and I can now focus on furthering my career in my full-time role at Barclays. So I decided to take a higher apprenticeship because I loved school and I loved college and I just loved to study. So I knew I wanted to further my education, but I also really liked the idea of earning money. So I didn't have a clear idea of what exactly I wanted to do when I was older. I never really thought of myself working in IT, but the journey so far has been really fun and really interesting. I was introduced to my apprenticeship through a family member who worked at Barclays, and admittedly, I didn't have much exposure to apprenticeships from school and college. I filled out an application form online which included a cover letter outlining myself, my achievements, and my career aspirations. I was then invited to an assessment day, which included a day of many different activities which are designed to test your skills like decision making, teamwork, and interview competency. Throughout the day, the hiring managers would choose the candidates they liked to take forward for the apprenticeship. So during my apprenticeship, I was treated just like any other member of the team. However, my skills and experience were always put into perspective, meaning I was never pushed into doing something that I may not have necessarily been ready or confident in doing. My employers were really incredibly supportive of my apprenticeship, and on the job training was constant. Since my apprenticeship, I've been given a lot more responsibilities in work, and I've even been given a promotion. I'm now classed as any other member of the team, which sometimes feels weird as some of my peers have up to 30 more years experience than me, but we are generally classed as equal, which is really good. So my apprenticeship really accelerated my development of some key skills within the workplace, like stakeholder communication and improved writing skills, which is definitely recognised within my team. I think a key tip I would give to anybody considering applying for a higher apprenticeship is to do your research beforehand. Make sure that it's the right subject and the right employer for you. 4 years is a long time to study your degree, and naturally it's a very challenging process. If you think you found the right apprenticeship for you, my advice would be to grab the opportunity with both hands and get the most out of it as you can. The support and resources will always be available to you from your employer and your training provider. You have the tools to excel, so get your career off to an amazing start. Most of my learning took place physically at uni, where I attended on a day's release to complete my lectures and lab sessions. I was then able to apply the knowledge I'd gained into my everyday role at work for the remaining 4 days of the week. It was a really good balance. It would have been tricky to complete all of my uni work at uni in one day, so there was the expectation that some of my work was completed at home on evenings and weekends. I was also incredibly lucky that my employer allowed me to complete uni work at work on a side of desk basis in parallel with my everyday role. This option isn't available to everyone, and it definitely tests your time management skills. Because I chose the technical pathway of software engineering, most of my assessments were practically based. A typical example of an assignment would be to write and compile a piece of code that solved a specific problem or showcased a set of functions. Another typical way that our knowledge was assessed was through testing. We would be able to learn and develop new skills during our lab sessions, for example, building databases and designing network topologies. We would then test our knowledge by completing multiple choice quizzes. All of our work was assessed by our uni lecturers for each subject, like any regular full-time student. My employer was always on hand to support me with any enterprise-oriented aspects of my work where required. There was always a general support network between me and my fellow apprentices completing the same subjects. We had group chats and would often share useful links and resources which we thought would help and further embellish our work. I was definitely a part of a close-knit community and during my time as an apprentice. It took me 4 years to complete my higher apprenticeship and gain my first class degree in digital and technology solutions. The university designed the endpoint assessment around the standard format of a dissertation typically completed by a full-time software engineering student. This was called a synoptic project, and the main requirement was that I needed to create an application or system that I'd coded myself. For my synoptic project, I created a cross-platform mobile application for my colleagues in the bank to use. The EPA consisted of the application itself, which is packages containing the raw code that compiles to run the application on a machine emulator or a physical mobile device. A project report outlining all aspects of the synoptic project. My report was 122 pages long and roughly 23,000 words. And a 30-minute presentation to key academic and professional stakeholders and subject matter experts, consisting of 15-minute pitch, including a live demo of the application, and 15 minutes technical discussion and Q&A. The EPA was designed to allow me to effectively showcase all the skills and knowledge that I'd learnt whilst completing the course over the 4 years. The application build allowed me to demonstrate my coding ability. The report allowed me to demonstrate my writing skills and ability to consider business aspects and apply them to my work, as well as apply the enterprise level knowledge I'd learnt in my full-time employment at the bank. And the presentation allowed me to demonstrate the confidence I'd gained throughout the process and showcase my understanding of the topic. My employer was incredibly supportive of my EPA, often allowing me to use spare time I'd have during the day to complete my uni work side of desk, managing my time effectively to complete key activities in parallel with my workload. If ever I had any concerns with my workload affecting the productivity of my uni work, my employer was more than happy to try and accommodate my needs by utilising my other colleagues to prioritise my work. There was certainly a general feel across my team that the additional workload I had was only temporary and that it was incredibly important that I was provided with as much time as possible to complete my work to the best of my ability. They made it possible for me to continue with my day-to-day role in parallel, to which I'm very grateful. My provider was very supportive of me when completing my EPA. Additional support sessions were offered to all students to help support with the different aspects of the EPA, and even accommodated additional individual support sessions on evenings and weekends on request from myself. My dedicated lecturer was always available on phone and email for any queries I'd had, including helping with resources to further my work, proofreading and providing feedback on my report, and carrying out mock presentations. Now that I've completed my degree, in terms of future career plans, I really like the job I'm currently in, and there's plenty of scope to use my skills gained in my apprenticeship to progress further. The benefit of working at a place like Barclays is that there's career opportunities everywhere in various areas of the bank, which I can explore whenever I'm ready.